Hey, what is up YouTube? This is We All Juggle Knives out here on the little wood bench with a new knife. This was a gift from one of my awesome subscribers, and I'm not going to plaster their name all over the internet, but he's probably watching, so dude, you know who you are. I want to thank you immensely because, you know, it's the thought that counts. He knew I was getting into case knives, and he's really into case knives too. And so he gave me this as a gift. It's a limited edition that the Case Collectors Club sent out years ago. So you can't buy this, but you can definitely get other Saddlehorn designs, and I saw some really good ones on Amazon. I will include those links if you want to get a Saddlehorn. This is my first Saddlehorn knife. Alright, more of a closer look at it. You see the bolsters. Right, it's a slip joint, no lock. That's Case. And in the sunlight it looks a lot more yellow, but that's actually more of a bone color. It's 90 something degrees out here, by the way. Just saying, not complaining. But yeah, I did some research on the Saddlehorn design, and I found out it's basically kind of like a trapper on steroids. Okay, check out what they call the spay blade. Now I have to hold it at that angle because otherwise it's going to reflect all kind of stuff like my camera. Because of the satin finish, it's very high polish. Alright, but you know, the tip on a spay blade, it's meant to minimize the piercing into what you're cutting, which is why it's used for skinning. And back in the day, I've heard it was often used to basically neuter farm animals, and that tip minimizes the chance of piercing too deeply. Nail nick, of course. These are not one-handed opener, right? But beautiful nonetheless. True sharp. Case uses True Sharp, what they call surgical stainless steel. And here is the second blade. You know, just kind of a conventional clip point. The nail nick. And yeah, you can get these extremely sharp. Whoa, am I wobbling here? There's no strap when you hold the camera left-handed. But there you go. Let's do some still shots. Alright, and I like how these classic knives also, they look like works of art. You know, two blades. I don't know if they're exactly the same length, but near the same length, but different in form, and therefore different in function. A model of efficient design. And as I was saying, the Saddlehorn, it's basically like a trapper on steroids. The Saddlehorn is a larger knife, and also being wider, the blade, especially the spay blade, can be a lot wider than the spay blade on the regular trapper. Right, so talking about skinning and slicing, look how much more curvature to the blade the one on the Saddlehorn has, right, because it's wider. Alright, so you see the benefits there, and you can see the difference in size and handle shape. Right, with the Saddlehorn, the shape of the handle gives you more leverage to apply more force into what you're doing. It's a trapper for a little bit harder use, and also if you just happen to have really large hands, it would probably be a lot more comfortable for you. And there is the clip point. You all know what that is for. Great thing about Case, they're functional, practical, but also collectible. Speaking of collection, here is my ever-growing collection of Case knives, except I snuck in a buck knife, that first one on the left, just because it's also a traditional and it's pretty cool. The Chuck Buck limited knife. Alright, so we got the Stockman with punch next to that, the Trapper, the Saddlehorn, the Sod Buster, and the Canoe, although someone said it might be a sow belly, technically. Have to look that up. But yeah, my small but proud and growing collection. Remember when I only had one? Back in the day I only had one. I'm slowly, you know, that's what I do. My collecting strategy, it's just long-term persistence. I'll try to add to it every month. If I'm really lucky, you know, every week. But if I can't do every week, I'll do every 2, or every month, or every 2 months. Alright, I hope you enjoyed seeing these beautiful knives. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.